at you all the way from our dorm rooms to your conference rooms. Saba, Ali, and Dan Tiemann here are two college students who are ready to talk to you guys about business and lifestyle from our personal experiences.
Each week we'll discuss about our lifestyle as college students as well as our tips and strategies starting in the business field. We'll bring on successful entrepreneurs in the millennial generation to share with us their journey and how they got started and where they're at now.
Our goal is to help you students, millennials, and entrepreneurs gain inspirational advice via our spontaneous conversations and meaningful guidance. Let's dive on in.
Welcome back, guys, to episode 30 of Dorm Rooms and Conference Rooms. And as always on our Friday special, we have another amazing guest on. But to get us started, Saba, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Super excited for our guest today. So let's get started, Dan.
So guys, we have Kayla O'Neill on. Kayla is a web developer from Indiana helping local businesses get going on the digital platform and creating websites for them. It's just a little bit of an intro, and I know Kayla has so much more going on. Kayla, how are you doing today? And give us a little bit, bigger of an intro about yourself.
Hi guys, I'm doing good. I'm super excited to be on here today with you guys. So a little bit of background about myself. I would say I started in entrepreneurship in high school with my boyfriend. He's a serial entrepreneur and he started his first business when he was like 5. So he kind of always kept me up to date with his business endeavors. We started our first business when I was a junior. It was a grocery delivery service. And ultimately, it didn't really work out because the market wasn't really there yet. Like Peapod was just getting started and Amazon wasn't really doing it yet. So it didn't really work out for us. Because it didn't work out, it kind of threw me off of entrepreneurship for a little bit. I would say I got back into it again my first year of college because I changed my major 4 times. I went from psychology to nursing to accounting to politics. And I knew I wanted to do something to help people. It's something that I'm really passionate about, but there wasn't really one thing that I wanted to do. Like I didn't want to just help them medically. I didn't want to just help them financially. I wanted to help them all around. So I stopped college and now I'm working full-time on my web development and doing our various community pickup projects with my boyfriend.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so how did you get into web development? Like how did you all of a sudden go from all these different things to just jumping into, coding and designing beautiful websites for, different clients of yours?
So a restaurant that I actually worked with for like 3 years, she didn't have a website. And I was like, well, what if I make you one? So I started kind of getting into Squarespace and Wix, and I made her website. And I realized that it was something that I really loved to do. Like I loved all the different design aspects and stuff. So I created a couple more websites, one for a local DJ company, another one for a property maintenance company. And then this past fall, I figured out how easy coding was. Like it was something that I wanted to do to excel even further in web development. So I just watched video upon video upon video of making HTML and CSS websites.
So what's the kind of the process right now? How are you going about getting new clients on board, and how are you kind of, gaining new clients? Are you gaining them through cold calling, walking into local businesses, or what are you really doing that's different than other people?
It's kind of a mixture of everything. I've realized that because there are so many different web development people out there, you have to really provide value. And that's why I make one of my strong focuses of helping the local area. I want to help Indianapolis grow as a business sector, and I really want to help small business. So a lot of it is done through email marketing, and a lot of it's done through walking in and just showing them my portfolio and introducing myself.
Awesome. So Kayla, you said you went to college, you kept switching your major. So did you graduate college, or how did that go about when you were in college?
No, I actually stopped after my first year. I don't, as of now, I'm not planning on going back just because there's not one degree that really interests me enough to want to do it for the rest of my life. But I do really love the flexibility that I have to really work with local businesses and stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know you're being so young. You're our age. You're 21, 22, somewhere in there. So you're the same age as myself. How do you manage your time with all these different things? Because I know you do have a little daughter. You have, managing time with your boyfriend, which sounds like you guys do a lot of business together. But how do you manage that time between, your daughter and your business? And How are you able to handle that all being so young? Some people would say that we're so young that, you know, it might be hard for us to handle, but how do you do it?
It was really a struggle at first, like finding that perfect balance between taking time for myself and family and business. Like at first, because I do what I love, I just wanted to put all my time and energy into it. And so I figured out that I really had to prioritize my days. Like every single day, I make a list for myself and I figure out by what time I need to have this done, because then this certain amount of hours is put aside for family time. So I have to get X amount of things done by this time in order for me to take that time to give it to family.
So can you kind of run us down through like a typical day that like you have? Because I know obviously Dan and I were both in college right now, so like our schedules are probably way different than yours. But like, what do you do like to get ready for the day in the morning and then make sure you get everything done and stuff like that?
So the first thing I do is I make my list and I make my coffee. Those are the two most important things that I do every single morning when I wake up. But then I get like any cleaning or anything, I get it all done in the morning before my daughter gets up. And then once I get her up while I'm giving her breakfast, I run through my day and figure out what business things I like have to get done. Like I set out my goals for the day and then what things can kind of be pushed back until later, like that aren't as imminent and that need to be done right away. So after I give her breakfast, she usually plays for a little bit, and that's when I get started on, usually like while she's awake, I will do my emailing, or like I'll send in proposals and stuff to try and get new clients. And then while she's napping, that's when I go full in on my web development and design, because that I really have to be really focused on. Like I have to zone out for it.
It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I see some of your, we're friends on Snapchat, so when I see, you know, it's kind of cute watching your daughter run around. It's nice seeing you be able to, you know, get your work done while she's able, you know, you're able to manage time with her as well. It's something really cool that a lot of people don't take advantage of, being able to be a digital nomad and being able to take care of that. But what's your main factor? What's your why at the end of the day? What really gets you driving? Is it your daughter? Is it your boyfriend? Is it the whole family setting? Is it, you know, wanting to really grow business in Indianapolis? Is it a mixture of all of them, or tell us your why?
I would say my daughter is definitely a big why. You know, I want her to have an excellent life. I want her to have so many opportunities from like such a young age. I mean, we joke all the time that when she's like 5, we're going to have her pitch us business proposals once a month. So she's definitely a huge motivating factor. But I think another big one is really cleaning up the city, because Indianapolis has such huge potential to be such a great city. Like one of the big cities, like, you know, you think of New York and LA, and it has so much potential, and there's so much potential in the people here, you know, that we just want to provide more opportunity to them. And my boyfriend, where he grew up, there's not a lot of opportunity, and we just want to provide that to people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So this is like a question that someone asked me before, and I really want to ask you it also. So what's one thing that you've been doing for like the past 3 years that you will like continue to do in the future? Also, like whether it maybe help you as like a person, or just one thing that you do every single day.
Honestly, working out. So since I had my daughter, like I figured out I needed to have some kind of stress reliever. And so it was kind of on and off for a little bit, but consistently for the past couple months, I go to work out every single day, because I realize how important it is for my health and my mental health too. And during it, I don't know what it is, but working out just like releases these creative like things. Like I just think of so many ideas and so many strategies and stuff while I'm doing it. So it's something that I take time to do every single day, whether it's just for 30 minutes or an hour. I religiously do it.
That's great. That's great. So going back on to your, you know, business end of things, what's something different, really truly different that you do that no one else might do in the website space right now? Or do you kind of do all the similar things, or do you have something that you believe is just so stand out that people should be going to you when they need a website designed?
I think honestly, I do a lot of similar things. Like I wouldn't say with design wise, it's really different. I think it's ultimately the end goal and the bigger picture that I'm working towards. Like I use my web development as a means to further our city. And that's why I believe that people should use me, because they know I'm putting that money back into the community and back into our local economy.
So Kayla, is there anything that you are currently working on that you want to share with our audience, or something that you will be working on in the future?
We are working on implementing our community organization. I'm really excited about it. It's really coming together. I can't go into too much detail on it, but it's going to really hit hard on cleaning up the area and bringing the community together. I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome. I also saw on your Snapchat, are you starting to write a book? I saw that you're really interested in like nutrition and stuff like that, and especially on your Instagram, you always post about like recipes and stuff. Are you starting to write like a recipe book?
Yes, I am. And I'm aiming to make it not just a recipe book, but more so like an informational book. All the recipes, I want to break down like the nutritional value of them, but I also want to provide people with recipes that, you don't have to have a huge budget for. It's like not rich recipes. You can be on a $50 a week grocery budget and still do this and still eat healthy.
That's great. I mean, Saba, what are some tips that you might be able to help Kayla with later on? You just wrote your Amazon bestseller. What are some?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd love to hear some.
Yeah, for
Share
sure.
some tips really quick.
Yeah, for sure. So Kayla, so for me, I mean, I wrote my book in 30 days, so definitely put like a time constraint on it. Obviously, it doesn't have to be 30 days because I kind of pushed a little bit, but definitely I always took time out of my day just to even write like for like 30 minutes at the least, just to make sure I stay consistent on it. Because I mean, for me, I had to get it done in 30 days, had to get up on Amazon. So definitely I laid out just like a timeline of kind of when I wanted my chapters to be done by. And what really helped me a lot before I even started writing my book, I just laid out like all the topics that I want to talk about, like down to like even the outline of the chapters. So that really helped me just in the long run. So like you don't really get stuck while you're writing.
Right. You have like a guide to go off of.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and just kind of carrying back towards things on web development, do you think that if someone really set their nose to the grindstone, I guess this goes for anything though at the end of the day, but do you think like kids in college is something that you could start doing on the side to really start getting businesses going? Or what are some business tips you could really share with our listeners that they could take away if a kid wants to start a website design business?
Honestly, like you can really, like you said, you can really teach anything to yourself. And I think you just have to find that one thing that it's like you would want to put time into it every day. Website development for me is not like I have to go design this website. It's something that I like to do. And I think like Saba, she got her editor on Upwork. I think Upwork is an excellent platform to find those extra jobs and extra money. And they have everything from like photo editing to content creation. I mean, you can find so much on there that you can, use to find not only to find extra money, but to kind of find more things that you would like to do.
So Kayla, did you invest in courses to like learn about web design, or did you teach it like all by yourself?
I want to say I think I spent $20 on it was like a 9-hour course from W3 Schools. And I listened to it and watched it a little bit, but a lot of the stuff I found on their website, and they were just tutorials and stuff, and I just consistently like tried different things. And I also watched a video that basically you made the website from scratch with the person and you saw their screen so you could like see the code and everything. And I just did that. I want to say it was for like 2 weeks straight. I just did that every single day. I just worked on doing different aspects of websites. And yeah, I mean, that's how I learned. It was just taking the time to put aside the time to really get into that.
That's great. And then I know I saw something of yours about during the tax season too. So have you been teaching yourself about taxes as well?
Just a little bit. Yeah, because we have businesses, we've come to realize like how much you can really write off for your taxes. Like we've really been looking into it because as people that are, we file personal taxes, but we also file business tax. We've come to find, how much you can write off in your personal taxes that, a lot of people don't know about.
It's really
awesome.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, that's something I don't even think a lot of at-home businesses people really even know about, because I even have a couple of my buddies that are, do business online and different things like that. Like they never even talk about like, oh, this is a great investment because I could actually just write this off instead of going into a co-working space or something like that. I could just, if I keep everything at home, I could write it off later on and things like that. So it's definitely something to think about. And even me with graduating school and then going on my own or something, if I live at my mom's house and basically keep doing business stuff like that, like I could tell her like, hey, this is actually a write-off. Like we could use this to an advantage in some way. So definitely something interesting, definitely something for people to look into.
Right, even like with dinners and stuff, if you go out to if you and Saba were to go out to a dinner and, you talked about your podcast, you could write it off as a business expense because it was kind of a business meeting.
We'll have to talk more about this later on, Kayla, because now I'm actually intrigued.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of different expenses like that people could actually write off that a lot of them don't know about?
My boyfriend is like the king of that.
Okay.
Like every time, I swear, like the most random things, he's like, we could write this off. I'm like, you are insane. But you know what? It works.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious. So, Kayla, if there is a student in college and they're just starting their business, do you recommend them like going to somebody like you to have their website developed, or do you recommend them just like trying to learn it themselves first time around and just having it like get up on the website first?
I think it kind of depends. First, it depends on your budget because website development can get kind of expensive at times. But because there are platforms like WordPress and Squarespace and Wix, I think it is a good idea to look into it yourself. If you have a good eye for design and you have the time to put into it, then yeah, I think it'd be great for you to create your own website. But if you don't really have that eye for design and you really want a professional, cohesive look, then I'd recommend maybe finding someone on Upwork or maybe even someone, on your college campus that is in that field or is learning that field to have them do your site.
It's really cool. Definitely interesting there. And you've given us a lot of good information for like young kids about, taxes and about website development. But just kind of closing things down here, what is a quote you live by, as well as where can people find you at afterwards?
So I actually have two quotes that I like live and die by every single day. The first is "Stay hungry, stay foolish," Steve Jobs. And the second is "I could either watch it happen or I could be a part of it," Elon Musk. And these are two of my favorite quotes because they really encourage young entrepreneurs to just stay driven and to get into something that you love to do and take action, because ultimately, like, that's what you want your life to be about. You want to be fulfilled, and by following your dreams and your passions, that's what will bring you that fulfillment.
That's great. And then where can they find you at, Kayla?
I'm really active on Snapchat and Instagram. Both those usernames are KJ O'Neill.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely, guys. Reach out to Kayla if you need anything at all when it comes to web development, when it comes to obviously tax things, because now I'm going to be messaging her like crazy asking what I can write off. But it's definitely go to her. She's very knowledgeable on different subjects. Definitely a wide variety of knowledge there that you can really tap into and hone in on, your web development space. If you're, helping companies get a website developed or even your own, Kayla's definitely more than willing to help out with you. She's an amazing person. Definitely see that all over social media with her posts and things like that. When her book comes out, we'll definitely be promoting it. We'll be trying to get it across the board. Everyone should buy that when she officially, releases it. But anyway, guys, for now, you can find us at dr2cr.com. You can find Saba directly at sabaali.com. And you can find myself at danielseaman.com. Saba, what are some final words?
Thank you so much, Kayla, for being on here today. And guys, definitely connect with her if you guys need any web development needs or anything like that. And definitely follow her on like Instagram and Snapchat. She posts like almost every day, and I love following her. So definitely do that, guys. But that's all we have today on Dorm Rooms to Conference Rooms.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Dorm Rooms and Conference Rooms. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you haven't joined our accelerator program yet, you can find that at livetogrind.com/college, where we connect you with today's latest influencers and experts in their fields.